Hi, Jim. Hi, Simon.
Morning, Nick.
My big thing is I feel the board has to now either back the manager or sack him. I don't think there's time left in the window or even as the games come in for us just to wait and do nothing.
What does back him? When you say back him, you've got 160 million or best part of it in the summer. So in your mind's eye, Nick, what does back him look like?
I think we have to bring in other players. I think the players he's brought in isn't working, and we were short inside the summer, and we still need a centre forward who's going to score goals. And that's just how it is. They either back him and keep him going because the performances we're putting in aren't working. We're playing left-footed players on the right-hand side. We're playing right wingers, centre forward, as in Mikel Antonio, and it's just not working.
I mean, Nick, to simplify that, you would say just throw more money at it.
Yeah, simple as that.
Simple. Is that the answer, Simon?
Well, in the end, football will always resort to that rather than necessarily manage what they've got.
To a degree, Nick's got a point. There are underachievers at that place. There is no doubt. Souček is one. I doubt. Antonio's another.
Yeah, currently, yeah. I mean, they've lost their way, and so has Jared Bowen and a few others. And Paqueta hasn't made the impact that people thought he would do, but sometimes players take time. I don't see West Ham buying their way out of trouble in a way that some other football clubs might do. But then again, if they get the fear of God put into them, that they're in the bottom three coming right to the end of January, they might react. But I look at it and say, wasn't there a time, and I haven't heard David Sullivan speak recently, but there was a time a couple of years ago when West Ham were very poor and they weren't in good nick, and Sullivan came out and talked about the timing of things and how things would get better and the squad was good enough. Are you really suggesting that with the group of players that you've got at this moment in time, that you are only worthy of second to bottom in the league?
No, of course not. But we have lost Mark Noble. We have lost big players in the changing room. British players. I'm a big, I love signing British hard-working players. That's the West Ham. And I listened to David Moyes on the podcast with the CEO. And he's talking about a new West Ham and a new thing. But West Ham want hard-working players. And we haven't signed the right type of players that we lost in Mark Noble. But
Mark was a bit part player, though, wasn't he, Nick? He's been a bit part player on the pitch for the last couple of years, hasn't he?
The changing room, huge. And it feels like we've lost that a little bit.
Well, now he's in the boardroom, Nick, as you know. Nick, listen, thank you for the call. You made some good points. We're taking them on board. Sam's another West Ham fan. Sam, good morning. What do you want to say this morning?
Oh, yeah, I just heard the talk of Rafa Benitez. I think to bring him in, going off his track record, his poor man management is the last thing that we need at the moment. We need someone that's going to G the players up and fight for the badge, which isn't happening at the moment.
I mean, when David Moyes is talking about his long-term vision for the football club, Sam, is it not just prudent? This is where you're at. Just back him to get you out of the trouble that you're in and stay in the Premier League under Moyes.
I think it's difficult because if you go even back to last January, our results since then have been so poor. It doesn't look at the moment that we're going to turn it round. I was at Wolves on Saturday, and they're a team that's struggling as well, and we couldn't get near to them. I struggle to remember a time when we had more than one shot on target at the moment. It's really poor watching the games at the moment.
I don't want to be sounding, the bringer of a doomsday comment, but are you now seriously fearful that this is the season you'll drop?
I feel like we shouldn't, but if it carries on the way it is, I can't think of a team that we're better than at the moment. You see Southampton lately picking up results. I mean, Everton at the weekend, if we go a goal down early, the atmosphere will turn hostile at the stadium, and I think that could make us struggle even more.
Okay, listen, Sam, thanks for the call. John's a Tottenham fan who wants specifically to speak to you, Simon. John, good morning.
Good morning. Can I just say, fantastic show, and Simon and Jim, you're amazing.
Thank you very much. Very kind.
And Simon, if you ever want to become Prime Minister, I think you should go for it because you speak total sense.
Don't know about that, mate.
God help us, John. On you go.
Yeah. As an owner, when does the time come? And you've owned a fantastic football club. When does the time come? When you spent hundreds and hundreds of millions, that you actually feel the bile, can't sleep at night, and whatever, that you say, we've got to change him. And that's the problem, because it must be an immense decision to do. because you've let loose the best part of 200 million last year or beginning of this season. When do you actually pull the plug?
When you pull the plug,
owning a football
is
club,
there a trigger moment?
On what, owning a football club?
No, sacking a manager.
Oh, well, look, you pull the trigger when you know that the guy in front of you is no longer got anywhere left to run. Most of the time, if you're in touch with the manager, and Graeme Souness regularly makes the point about how many managers I had, but I spent a lot of time, not an invasive amount of time, interfering in what they're doing on a weekly, daily basis, but spending time with them to understand where they were. You will know, and in any business, you will know when someone's run their course, when someone's run their race, when they don't have anything left besides the backing that you're giving them to keep them standing up, and they're giving you the same platitudes, or they're telling you the same things, or they're suggesting that more of the same, which has got you in the position that you're in now, which is either not advancing, regressing, or really struggling. So the bottom line is, it's not about how much money you spend, because if you spend money wisely with players that are acquired, then you're buying players that should be fit for purpose for the next manager, because they should be fit for the purpose for the club that ultimately you own. So you look at it and you say, it's very simple. Look at the guy, and if you believe that actually there's more in them, that they've still got the fighting spirit, not just the rhetoric, but actually the solution to a particular problem, not just platitudes of, oh, it's been injuries, or we're not this, or we've had a bit of unluck, or VAR's intervened at times, and we haven't had the rub of the green, but really an underlying understanding of what the problem is, how they're going to fix it. And then if the answers are coming back in a way that don't convince you, and I'm not suggesting that a manager needs to go on an audition every 2 weeks to convince the owner that he's still fit for purpose. But then, if you're getting something from them that doesn't allude or give you the confidence to believe that actually there's a fix there, then you change it. And the managers have it priced into their own thinking. They know that this sort of thing is coming their way. So the sentimentality side of things is the big part of football that needs to be moved out of the owner's psyche, because the manager will have no loyalty. It's about making commercial decisions for the best interest of the football club. Not the money will take care of itself, for the best interest of the football club.
John, thanks for your call and your kind words. We're at 10:30.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.